We move on with our wildcard previews. The Minnesota Vikings, third seed at home, take on the New York Football Giants in a game that probably looks like one of the best games of this wildcard round. I know there's that Jacksonville Chargers game, which is really split down the middle, but this is also, in my opinion, a pretty even game, a very good game. When they played earlier, took a 63-yard field goal from what's his name to beat the Giants. So yeah, Hayden, what are your thoughts?
I'll start off by saying both of these teams, all their wins, or most of their wins, were very close games. You had Vikings at one point in the season were down 33-0 to the Indianapolis Colts and came back and won. So I wouldn't count either of these teams out, no matter which team gets up early. I wouldn't count.
Look, you're saying close game, right? The Minnesota Vikings are 13-4. Correct me if I'm wrong. 13-4.
13. I think they're 12-5. I think they're 12-5.
Yeah, or 12-5, whatever they are, and they have a minus point differential. I don't know how that's possible, but keep going.
It's possible because when you lose by 37 to the Cowboys, it's very possible to have that differential. But anyway,
by the Packers, 41-17.
Yeah. So their losses come bad, but their wins come very, very tight. And last year, they almost had the same team. And you add Zadarius Smith, and a lot of the games last year were very close too, except they resulted in losses instead of wins. Now you're seeing what it looks like when it results in wins. You're seeing a winning team make the playoffs as a 3 seed. And that's why a lot of people are picking this upset of Giants over Vikings, because they're just a close-knit team. If it's a close game, then Vikings can somehow pull it out. And no one likes picking those teams in the playoffs. They're like, oh, but what if it's not a close game? Then the Giants are going to win. But I just don't see how the Giants defense can stop this Vikings offense. If Kirk even plays mediocre, it should be a Vikings win. I'm not saying it's a blowout. It's going to be a very close game. I do think it's going to come down to the fourth quarter, 2-minute type drill. And I just trust the Vikings more with Justin Jefferson being the offensive player of the year, or should be. You got Adam Thielen, you got Osborne, you have Dalvin Cook, Kirk Cousins. And I just think it's just enough to get over the Giants defense. That being said, Saquon Barkley is about to have himself a field day, and I need to see Vikings stop some sort of run game. If they can stop that run game.
Exactly. You talk about how can the Giants stop the Vikings? How can you saw the Giants were able to manage Kirk Cousins and the Vikings offense earlier this season. They managed the Vikings offense earlier this season. My question is, you were saying if it comes down to the wire, it comes down to a 2-minute drill, all that. In that situation, if it comes down to which quarterback can make a play, who do you trust more? Kirk Cousins or Daniel Jones?
I trust Kirk Cousins more. I don't trust either quarterback over a lot of the quarterbacks in the league, but Daniel Jones, I think the only way they're going to use him is going to be in the RPO, where they fake hand off to Saquon and then he runs it. They're going to do a lot of running, quarterback run, Saquon Barkley run. It's probably going to be 3-down runs. I doubt they throw. They're going to throw, but I doubt they throw over 25 passes with Daniel Jones. It's going to be a lot of running. Saquon Barkley is going to get both first and second down. I'm sure Daniel Jones will probably run it on third downs. I see a lot of running going on with the Giants offense, and I don't think it's going to work. But that being said, in a 2-minute drill, I'd much rather have Kirk Cousins because of his weapons, not because I trust him more than Daniel Jones, but I trust his weapons more. And therefore, I'll take Kirk in a 2-minute drill.
You're damn right I trust his weapons more. The Giants don't have weapons. Honestly, it's a shame because they did go out a couple seasons ago and get a $20 million a year, a supposed top wide receiver in Kenny Golladay, who doesn't even get snaps for them basically at this point. Imagine if they actually got an elite receiver with that money. They waste $20 million a year on Golladay. Imagine if they have in place for Golladay right now an elite receiver, how much better this offense will be as a whole. The fact that they were not so dependent on the run game. And look, this is a close game. Giants managed to keep games close, just like Minnesota managed to keep games close. Saquon, all that. Minnesota being a home field is a factor too. It's really going to be a close, tight-knit game. And Minnesota doesn't lose those many games. I think they're undefeated in one-possession games, right? So this is actually a very interesting matchup for me. I think you're talking about Minnesota. I mean, you're talking about Giants defense being able to stop Minnesota. I think the bigger question is, How does Minnesota defense stop Saquon? How does Minnesota's defense stop even Daniel Jones on play action? Because this Minnesota defense is bad. They're gonna have to pack the box to stop the run. And that's gonna open up opportunities for Daniel Jones to throw to whoever in God's name can get open for them. So, I mean, look, this is gonna be a shame game. I'm agreeing with you. We talked a little bit about this before. I think Minnesota is gonna win because I think this is gonna be a close game. But if Giants could come in and get a lead against them early and take advantage of a Minnesota team that's under pressure to win the game because of their home crowd, and they can come in and not get a 31-0 lead like Indianapolis, but get in, go up 10-0, 14-0, 17-0, then I don't think they'll be brain dead like Indianapolis and completely like give it up. I think they have more than enough. They're in the playoffs for a reason. They have the pedigree enough to see the game out under Brian Daboll. So I definitely think Giants is as good of a shot as any underdog in this wild card round. But I'm going to take Minnesota in a slightly close game just to eventually get their butt whooped by San Francisco.
Yeah.
Nothing else to add, Hayden?
No, I think that sums it up. I think Vikings get the win.